Hello everybody. On this assignment, nope, this is an assignment. These were the notes over 7-5 part 2. I wanted to go over the number 5 and the number 6 that I asked you to do for me. So looking at number 5, I started it for you. So I got rid of this positive 7 that was in the front by subtracting it because it wasn't smushed. So it's just a positive 7 that you subtract. And then at this point, to remove the square root, you square. So I square both sides. On the left side, the squared and square root cancel, leaving 2x minus 1. And on the right side, 3 squared, 3 times 3 is 9. And then from here, easy peasy, this is a little two-step equation. To get rid of subtraction of 1, we do the opposite and add. So the 2x would come down. And then 9 plus 1 makes 10. And then I would divide. To undo multiplication, I divide. So I divide both sides by 2. And I get 5. So that's what your number 5 should have looked like. Okay, number 6. I went ahead and I started this one. So I'm trying to get my square root of x by itself. So first I got rid of the subtraction of 1 by adding 1, which gave me 4 on this side. Then I got rid of the 4 that was smushed by dividing by it. And 4 divided by 4 made 1. So now I'm ready to remove the square root. So to get rid of a square root, we square. And if you do it to one side, you do it to the other. The squared and square root cancel, leaving x. And 1 squared, 1 times 1 is 1. And that's your answer. So that's what number 5 and number 6 should have looked like from yesterday. Okay, I'm doing the same thing today. So hopefully you're thinking this is pretty easy. All right, so this is called assignment over 7-5 part 2. And we're just doing more of the same thing. All right, so remember, the variable that's under the radical needs to be by itself. And it is. There's nothing smushed against the radical, nothing added or subtracted in front or behind. So we're ready right now to get rid of the square root. So to get rid of a square root, we square. And if you square the left side, you square the right side. On the left side, the squared and square root cancel, leaving 2x minus 5. And on the right side, 7 squared, that's 49. 7 times 7. And now we're down to a little two-step equation. So first I get rid of subtraction of 5 by adding 5. The 2x comes down, the equals comes down. 49 plus 5, what's that? 54. And then how do I get rid of the 2? I divide. So I'm going to divide both sides by 2, and 54 divided by 2 makes 27. And it's done. Not bad, huh? Okay, number 2. So my variable that's under the square root, that has to be by itself. So I have 2 3's to get rid of. So I get rid of addition, subtraction first. So to get rid of subtraction of 3, I'm going to do the opposite and add 3. So negative 3 plus 3 is 0. So I'm left with the 3 and the square root of 2x on the left. On the right side, 15 plus 3, that's 18. Okay, I'm still trying to get the variable that's under the square root by itself. So how do I get rid of that front 3? I divide. Since it's smushed, it's multiplied. So I'm going to divide both sides by 3. So these 3's cancel out. Shoop, shoop. All I'm left with is square root of 2x. And on the right side, what's 18 divided by 3? 6. Okay, and then to get rid of a square root, what do? We square. So I square the left side, which means I square the right side. On the left side, the squared and square root cancel, leaving 2x. And on the right side, what do we have? 36. 6 squared, 6 times 6. And then to get x by itself, you divide. So I divide both sides by 2. And do you know what 36 divided by 2 is? 18. And there's my answer, and I'm done. Okay, number 3. All right, we've done one that looks like this before. The variable that's under the square root, it's by itself. on the left side, it's by itself on the right side. So we're ready right now to square. So to get rid of a square root, we square, and if you square one side, you square the other. On the left side, the squared and square root cancel, leaving x plus 3. And on the right side, the squared and square root cancel, leaving 2x plus 1. Okay, so I still have an equation to solve here, but I do have to get x's on the same side first. Now, quite honestly, it doesn't matter which one you move. I always like to move the smaller one. So I'm going to move this positive x by subtracting it. So that way, x minus x is 0, so now it's gone. I bring down my 3. 2x minus x, 2x minus 1x is x or 1x. I bring down the plus 1. And then to get x by itself, what do you think you'd do? You'd subtract 1. And if you subtract 1, what's your answer? 2. 3 minus 1 makes 2. And that's my answer. And I'm done. Okay, so what I'm asking for you to do for me is number 4 and number 5. So I want you to work these out, take a picture of your work, and post to Canvas. And then you'll be done with my class. That's all for today, guys. Smiley face.